看见没有？这个虫子在奶粉里头啊。
Do you see this? There's a bug in the formula. Hey Fei, Xing Fei fan, my second baby is 7 months old and has been drinking this formula for over 6 months. Then we found a bug in it. I contacted the company, but they won't do anything. They keep stalling. It's been over 3 months now. If the company won't take responsibility, isn't there someone who will? This is about a baby's health. I'm showing the batch number here. Take a good look and remember it. Moms, if your baby is drinking formula, please be careful. Pay attention. And this is supposed to be a big name brand. Is this how a major company operates? Look at this formula. It's all clumpy and it's stringy too. See that? If you're not going to fix this, I'll keep posting about it online every single day. In November 2021, a woman in Liaoning, China discovered a dead insect in an opened can of infant formula just days after she started using it. She repeatedly reached out to the manufacturer, China Feihe, also known as Flying Cranes brand, but received no satisfactory response. Frustrated, she took to Chinese TikTok Douyin to expose the issue. According to her updates in the comment section, the company eventually agreed to a private settlement offering only a small amount of formula as compensation. Feihe's chairman has described its products as the most expensive infant formula in the world, yet its quality control and customer service seems to fall far short of that claim. What's even more concerning is that more than 3 years have passed, yet complaints about finding bugs in Feihe formula continue to surface online. Even in recent days, users have reported similar incidents, indicating that Feihe has yet to address the problem. Let's take a look at some of the comments from viewers on the video. A user wrote, "Same issue, I found bugs 3 times already. Told my wife to switch brands, but she wouldn't listen. Feihe Flying Crane formula should just rebrand as Flying Bug formula." Others commented, "What should I do? Just opened a can and found a bug. I found a dead black bug in Feihe's Stage 3 Xing Jie You Hu formula. It was bigger than a grain of rice, absolutely disgusting. My daughter is 1.5 years old. We just switched to Feihe Fei Fan formula, and after 2 days, my mother-in-law found live bugs in it. We used half a can of Feihe today while scooping formula into a bottle. I noticed a large black object. It was a bug. Terrifying. I've often seen black particles at the bottom of the bottle after mixing the formula. This brand is getting more and more concerning." Another user replied, "I found the exact same bug today." This vlogger also reported discovering live bug in a newly opened can just 10 days in and had to crush it immediately. One comment read, "I found a bug in my baby's formula today. Never buying this brand again." Another user shared, "We just found a bug in our formula tonight. Stage 1 organic formula, supposed to be pure milk powder. This is beyond frustrating." Beyond insects, some users have posted videos claiming to have found other foreign objects in Feihe formula, including tissue paper and plastic fragments. One user commented, "Found a hair in my baby's formula." Another wrote, "I discovered a fine metal wire in the milk powder. Please help share my post on Douyin so more people know it's Feihe formula again." Some users regretted not researching Feihe's Xing Fei Fan formula earlier, assuming it was a reputable brand. They were shocked to find so many complaints about Feihe on Douyin. One person questioned, "Is there any infant formula truly safe? This world has become a mess." Reports of similar incidents continue to surface on Douyin, and Chinese media outlets have also covered the issue. According to a report by Sina News, on September 20, 2024, a consumer revealed that 2 cans from a box of Feihe Joy formula contained contaminants, one with a live bug and another with a mosquito. Just 5 days later, another consumer reported finding multiple foreign objects resembling leaves in a can of Feihe Stage 2 Zhen Ai Beihu formula purchased from the brand's official store on an e-commerce platform. By the time the discovery was made, their child had already consumed most of the can. As of December 21st, 2024, Feihe has accumulated 951 complaints on the consumer rights platform Black Cat Complaint. These complaints range from foreign objects found in the products to issues with customer service. Founded in 1962, China Feihe Limited has a long history. In May 2003, it became the first Chinese dairy company to go public overseas when it was listed in the United States. 2 years later, in April 2005, it transitioned to trading on the New York Stock Exchange small cap market. Then in July 2013, Feihe delisted and went private, before relisting on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange on November 13, 2019. Feihe markets itself as a formula brand designed specifically for Chinese babies and has grown into one of China's leading domestic brands in the infant formula industry. With endorsements from actress Zhang Ziyi and Wolf Warrior star Jackie Wu, coupled with an aggressive marketing push, Feihe has seen rapid growth in recent years, becoming one of the most expensive infant formula brands in China. However, as Feihe's prices continue to climb, the product quality and reputation have failed to keep up. Instead, the company has mirrored in a series of negative reports. In recent years, repeated complaints about product safety and quality issues have cast a shadow over Feihe's carefully crafted image as a national brand. Just last December, Feihe's Shanxi branch was flagged for violations twice during random inspections conducted by the Long County Market Supervision Bureau in Baoji City. The company was ordered to rectify the issues, but the exact nature of the violations was never disclosed. The incident sparked consumer concerns and briefly became a trending topic online. Looking deeper into Feihe's history, these quality concerns are not new. As early as 2015, Feihe was cited for violations 2 months in a row. During that year's second phase of National Infant Formula Quality Inspection, 7 batches of Feihe's goat milk formula were found to be substandard. Of those, 6 batches came from its subsidiary Guangshan Dairy. The violations included selenium levels significantly below national safety standards, discrepancies between labeled and actual nutrient content, and nitrate levels exceeding regulatory limits. In 2018, Feihe was once again cited by China's State Administration for Market Regulation for failing to properly implement food safety management systems. Although Feihe has avoided further regulatory citations in recent years, consumer complaints about product quality have continued to surface, including reports of live insects, mosquitoes, hair, grass roots, and even flies found in its formula. Yet, despite these recurring issues, Feihe's massive marketing budget has ensured that any negative press is quickly overshadowed. The company spends billions of yuan, equivalent to hundreds of millions of US dollars each year, on advertising, reinforcing its image as a formula brand better suited for Chinese babies. As a result, these safety concerns have struggled to gain widespread public attention. According to Feihe's own claims, the company has maintained a zero safety incident record for 62 consecutive years. At the same time, Feihe has faced growing criticism for prioritizing marketing over research and development (R&D). Financial reports reveal that between 2021 and 2023, Feihe's annual marketing expenses exceeded 6.5 billion yuan, equivalent to $900 million US dollars. This accounts for 29% of its total revenue in 2021, 31% in 2022, and 34% in 2023. In the first half of 2024 alone, Feihe's marketing expenses reached 3.55 billion yuan, a 2% increase from the previous year, pushing its shares of total revenue up to 35%. In contrast, Feihe's investment in R&D was significantly lower, 426 million yuan in 2021, 493 million in 2022, and 611 million in 2023, representing just 1.9%. 2.3% and 3.1% of total revenue. The gap between marketing and R&D spending is striking. By pursuing a marketing-driven premium strategy, Feihe successfully repositioned itself as a high-end brand. Chairman Lun Youbing once claimed that on a per-kilogram basis, Feihe is the most expensive infant formula brand in the world. Thanks to its high profit margin, Feihe has led the industry for 5 consecutive years, capturing a 21.5% market share in 2023, the highest in China. Yet, despite branding itself as a dairy company designed specifically for Chinese babies, Feihe has failed to address its ongoing quality issues. The irony is hard to ignore. Feihe's formula may indeed be for Chinese babies only, as such quality standards would likely result in severe penalties in most other countries. And yet, in China, the company continues to grow, a reality that speaks volumes. When discussing China's dairy industry, it's impossible to ignore the 2008 melamine scandal. To cover up protein deficiencies in its formula, Shanlu Group added the industrial chemical melamine, affecting 300,000 infants, killing 6 and leaving thousands with kidney stones and other lasting health complications. But instead of holding those responsible accountable, authorities attempted to suppress the truth. Parents of victims were placed under surveillance, and activist Zhao Lianhai was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for seeking justice. Local officials colluded with dairy companies, regulatory agencies failed in their oversight, and multiple brands were implicated. Yet the full extent of the scandal was covered up. Public trust in domestic formula collapsed. Since then, Chinese parents have increasingly turned to imported and Hong Kong-produced formula, fueling a booming industry for overseas resellers. But only a small percentage of families can afford imported formula, leaving many with no choice but to take the risk of feeding their children domestic brands. In an effort to rebuild trust, Chinese formula brands have overhauled their marketing strategies, frequently using phrases like Australian milk source, EU certified, and US quality inspected in their advertisements. Some consumers even mock these claims, joking that if the ads were true, Chinese formula would be made like this. New Zealand cows are transported to European farms to graze, then flown to China for milking, shipped to the US for quality checks, and then finally sent back to China for packaging. Yet somehow, it's still more suitable for Chinese babies. This kind of sarcasm reflects not only deep-rooted consumer skepticism, but also a sense of frustration and delusionment with the state of China's dairy industry. But the problem extends far beyond infant formula. Food safety issues in China have long been a systemic crisis. From gutter oil and toxic rice to excessive additives and counterfeit products, and now the rapid expansion of pre-packaged meals, food contamination remains a constant threat to public health. Many still remember last year's oil tanker food contamination scandal. On July 2, 2024, the Beijing News exposed how oil tankers in China were being used to transport both edible oils and industrial chemicals such as coal-derived oil. After an extensive investigation, journalists found that in an effort to cut cost, many tankers operators skipped cleaning between shipments, leading to the contamination of cooking oils with chemicals residues. GPS tracking revealed that major food companies including Yihai Carrier Investments, Hopeful Grains and Oil Groups, Shandong Luhua Group, and the state-owned China Grain Reserves Group were all linked to the scandal. Given the widespread impact on public food safety, the revelations sparked nationwide outrage and panic. The Chinese State Council announced an investigation. However, after more than a month of probing, the official findings starkly contradicted the original reports. Authorities claimed that first, this was an isolated incident, and nationwide inspections found no similar cases. Second, despite the severity of the case, only the truck drivers faced criminal charges, while the implicated companies and regulators received only minor penalties. Lastly, authorities stated that 21.6 tons of contaminated oils were allegedly traced to Ordo City in Inner Mongolia, with no evidence of it reaching other regions. In other words, officials insisted that only 2 oil tankers had illegally mixed industrial and edible oils, and they just happened to be caught by investigative journalists. Such findings insult the intelligence of the public. Despite this being a large-scale systemic violation involving multiple players, the harshest punishment fell on low-level truck drivers, while the corporations profiting the most escaped with little more than a symbolic fine. And this wasn't the first time such a scandal surfaced. In 2015, a local TV station in Hunan exposed that oil tankers were being used to transport both caustic soda and soybean oil. Nearly a decade has passed, yet this issue remains unresolved and continues to resurface. Just like 10 years ago, as soon as public attention fades, the same illegal practices quietly resume. On March 14th, the Chinese ex-user reported that oil tankers contamination is still happening today. To avoid detection, many truck drivers now disguise their tankers with coverings to conceal what they are transporting. This ongoing issue is a direct consequence of government inaction. China's food safety scandals continue to emerge, yet authorities not only fail to resolve them, but also can routinely downplay incidents, shield wrongdoers, and suppress victims from speaking out. As a result, unscrupulous businesses driven purely by profit continue to take risks, further worsening the crisis. This cycle has made food safety one of the biggest concerns for people in China. At the same time, China's cancer rates have surged. According to The Lancet, in 2023, China ranks first globally in cases of liver and stomach cancer, both of which are closely linked to food contamination. Public trust in food safety has been completely shattered, leaving the very foundation of daily life in question. A striking irony is unfolding in China's retail industry. While domestic supermarkets faces financial losses, closures, and bankruptcies, Sam's Club, operated by the American retail giant Walmart, has been rapidly expanding across China, attracting massive crowds to its stores daily. There are even reports that in Beijing, many high-ranking officials' families now shop exclusively at Sam's Club, particularly for food because they trust its quality the most. This trend is glaring indictment of China's food safety crisis and an embarrassing reality for the Chinese government, which leads the world's largest manufacturing economy. Some have noted that while the US has restricted China's access to advanced technology, it is now also dominating the supermarket industry in China. Many once believed consumer industries were immune to US-China tensions, but that assumption has been completely shattered. China has struggled to replace foreign technology, and now even in the food industry, domestic alternatives seem further out of reach than ever. China's food safety scandals are just one symptom of a much larger crisis. Under the Chinese Communist Party (CCP) rule, the erosion of traditional values and moral accountability has fueled a system where greed and corruption thrive unchecked. Three fundamental pillars of society, food, healthcare, and education, have been deeply compromised, leaving ordinary citizens to bear the consequences. China's healthcare industry, once dedicated to saving lives, has descended into a profit-driven marketplace. Scandals involving counterfeit drugs, fake vaccines, and unethical medical practices continue to surface, further eroding public trust in the healthcare system. One of the most shocking cases was the 2018 fake vaccine scandal. Changshen Biotechnology in Changchun was exposed for producing 250,000 substandard vaccines that had already been administered to children. These vaccines were not only ineffective but also posed serious health risks. Public outrage erupted as parents took to the streets to protest, but authorities quickly moved to suppress the coverage. The company was fined just 9 million yuan, equivalent to $1.24 million, and its executive faced no serious punishment. Worse still, government records later revealed that officials had known about the violations as early as 2017, but local authorities allowed production to continue to protect corporate interest. Parents seeking justice were threatened by stability maintenance personnel, and the full extent of the scandal remains hidden to this day. In 2020, police in Hunan uncovered a counterfeit cancer drug operation where medication costing only a few yuan to produce was being sold for thousands. These fake drugs, which provided no real treatment, were distributed across multiple provinces, causing countless cancer patients to miss critical treatments and lose their lives. When one victim's family member exposed the scam online, they were arrested for spreading rumors. The case revealed a web of corruption involving pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, and regulatory agencies. China's drug safety oversight is virtually non-existent. One official even admitted publicly that the cost of cracking down on counterfeit drugs is too high, so it's better to just let it go. Even doctors, once regarded as angels in white, have been swept into a system of prioritizing financial targets over patient care. At a hospital in Guangdong, doctors were caught forcing common cold patients into hospitalization just to meet financial quotas, leading to medical bills worth thousands of yuan. Patients had nowhere to turn for complaints. The widespread corruption in China's healthcare system has made expensive and difficult medical care the norm. Many forego treatment due to overwhelming costs, while doctors receive tens of thousands in monthly kickbacks. Hospital directors are frequently exposed in massive fraud schemes. As a result, trust in medical systems has collapsed. The worsening doctor-patient relationship has led to a surge in violent attacks on healthcare workers, making medicine a high-risk profession in China. The education system is no exception. Under the CCP's systemic erosion of traditional values, schools have shifted from developing critical thinking to enforcing ideological conformity. Political indoctrination has replaced moral education, and students are discouraged from independent thought, instead becoming products of a rigid test-driven system. China's college entrance exam system, or Gaokao, is often described as hell mode. In one extreme example, a student at a high school in Henan reportedly studied 16 hours a day with only 4 hours of sleep. Breaks were limited to just 2 days a month, a grueling routine that has become the norm across the country. The relentless pressure has led to a surge in student depression and self-inflicted tragedies. Recently, the Ministry of Education implemented mandatory weekends for high school students, but critics argued the change came only after 37 student lives were lost. From counterfeit food to pharmaceutical corruption, from profit-driven hospitals to an oppressive education system, these crises are just the tip of the iceberg. Under a regime where power and profit outweigh public welfare, the three essential pillars of human well-being, food, healthcare, and education, have been deeply compromised, leaving ordinary citizens as the ultimate victims. These ongoing scandals expose the CCP's failure in governance and its systemic corruption, revealing a government that disregards public well-being. When power overrides justice and profit replaces morality, the very foundation of society begins to crumble, along with the people's trust and hope for the future.